Checking it out, my man. It's the sport of kings. Better than diamond rings. Football. Wildcats. Football. Wildcats. Football. Wildcats. Football. Wildcats.
Welcome to the Married with Picks podcast, season 4, episode 14, week 14. Hi, Steve.
Hey.
Oh my God.
What week is this?
14.
Wow. Only got like 5 weeks left, right?
Yeah, something like that. All right. How'd you make out last week?
I did pretty good.
So did I.
I feel like I've had a good stretch the last couple of weeks.
It's like every other week, so this is... all right. So week 14, we have a lot of games. There's only 2 teams on bye, Cardinals and Commanders. A lot of division games, some games that might be impacted by weather. First game on my list, Rams at Ravens. Ravens are 7.5 point favorites. We have the Ravens coming off a bye and Rams flying cross country for a 1:00 game. This game could be impacted by weather. It's supposed to be rain and wind. They're saying it's going to be pretty nasty. I looked at the weather. I didn't see it, but we'll see what happens when Sunday rolls around. You got to pick on this game. I've been like back and forth. But interesting fact, Matt Stafford has not played in the rain since 2017. Is that like bizarre?
Well, he played a lot of, I guess it is bizarre regardless, but he played a lot of games in the Dome, right?
Yeah.
For Detroit.
Yeah, apparently.
And the Rams are pretty much, it doesn't rain out in LA, does it?
I guess not.
Well, this is like, we're starting right with my buck the trend game. I do like a side on this game. I like the Rams. They're getting 7.5 points. I think it's just, too many points. I like Baltimore, tend to like Baltimore or side with Baltimore when they're at home. But this is an exception because I think the Rams are playing good football and they're coming back. A buck the trend game. Basically, the Rams are 0-4-1 in their last 5 against the Ravens. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
But that's the trend we're going to buck, the 0-4-1, last 5 against the Ravens against the spread. And you start going over touchdown. I think it's 2 million points with the Rams. So
I don't know. We've seen the Rams blow out some teams at home, like what they did to the Lions, what they did to Seattle. Rams have played well since they got Kyron Williams back the last couple weeks, but
it's a difference maker.
Maybe the Ravens are a little too much. And if the weather is bad, I don't know who that benefits, because I could see problems for the Ravens if it's sloppy. I could see problems for the Rams if it's sloppy. So
yeah, I don't like Lamar in the rain. I just think he's, with his style of play, ball pops out too much in the rain. Rams coming off 36 points against the Browns. It's pretty impressive. 16 points in the fourth quarter. So I think the Rams are pretty hot and they're trending in the right way. And like you said, Williams is back and he's looked pretty strong. 88 yards and a touchdown last week. But Piku, the up-and-coming Rams wide receiver.
What's his name?
Nakua.
Puka Nakua.
Puka.
Oh, my God.
105 yards and a touchdown last week. So
okay.
I like them to continue.
All right, so you got the Rams here.
Yes.
All right. I don't have a pick. Next game, Panthers at Saints. Saints are 5.5 point favorites. A lot of up in the air on this. I feel like Carr's in the concussion protocol. Like, does he get taken out of every game with a concussion and then he plays again the next week?
Well, he's definitely playing this week, right?
He's in concussion protocol.
No, I saw earlier he's definitely playing. He's cleared protocol today.
Okay. We have Taysom Hill is also questionable. Even their kicker is questionable. So I don't have a lot of faith in the Saints.
They're nearing a touchdown as well. I mean, 5.5 is actually in some places, but 6 points is a lot. They're 0-7 against the spread in their last 7 at home.
But this is the Panthers.
They're 1-6 against the spread in their last 7. I'm taking Carolina.
All right. I don't know if
I don't have trust in New Orleans. Probably they win, but they don't cover.
Yeah, okay. All right. Next game is the Colts at the Bengals. Bengals are 1.5 point favorites. So Jake Browning had himself a nice little game on Monday night. Go figure. I think that was more of an outlier than something that's going to continue. So I am taking the Colts here.
I'm going to take Cincinnati. I think that this is going to be a shocker. They're getting their favorite. So,
yeah,
it's kind of curious as to why they're getting points the way Indy's been playing with Gardner Minshew. But Cincinnati did move the ball against Jacksonville. Even though they're coming off a short week, I like Cincinnati trend to continue. I'll take the Bengals.
All right, we're on different sides of that one. Next game is the Jags at the Browns. Browns are 3-point favorites. So we saw Trevor Lawrence leave the game last week, supposedly a high ankle sprain, but he has been in practice and he is questionable to play. Trending towards playing, I suppose. Meanwhile, the Browns haven't named a starter, although I would have assumed it was going to be Flacco. It could potentially be DTR. There was an article that they sent Flacco back down to the practice squad, so I'm not sure what the implication of that is. But Flacco was actually serviceable last week. So I would assume they're going to start him. I don't really care. I want to see the Browns defense versus Trevor Lawrence. And I'm taking the Browns.
Well, I saw a video today of Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball in practice, and he wasn't moving around a lot, but the way he was throwing, he was not gingerly pushing off that ankle that was injured. So I think Trevor Lawrence is probably going to play in this game. And if he plays, I'll take Jacksonville. They're 7-2 against the spread in their last 9. Interesting here is that Jacksonville on the road, they are 5-0 straight up away. Cleveland 5-1 at home. So you have two teams really playing to their strengths here. But I think Jacksonville's looking to push to get a higher seed and win the division here for the playoffs. I like Jacksonville.
All right, different sides of that one. Next game is the Bucs at the Falcons. Falcons are 2.5-point favorites. This is a division game. These teams played back in week 7. Falcons won that matchup 16-13. I don't have a lot of science, but I am going to take the points and take the Bucs on this one.
I just feel like I was leaning towards the Bucs when I was looking at this game, but because Atlanta won earlier in the season, right? That
was a weird game
Tampa,
too. Though.
It was 13-10. It just looked like Tampa was set to take the lead, and a couple times in that game it just never did. So it was a weird one. I think Atlanta. It just feels like this would be an easy one to just jump on Tampa, thinking that they're going to split. But I think Atlanta at home. I like Atlanta to take the win and move on closer to the playoffs here, to move closer to securing this division.
Okay. Well, I guess this game is for the division because this is like the worst division in football.
Yeah, this division is really bad. I mean, Atlanta's sitting at 6-6, and then you have Tampa and New Orleans both at 5-7. So, even if New Orleans wins, they move up to 6-7. If Atlanta can win this game, they'll be 7-6 and still a game up on New Orleans, 2 games up on Tampa.
Okay. All right, we're on different sides of that one too. Next game is the Lions at the Bears. Lions are 3-point favorites. This is also a division game. These teams played a couple weeks ago, back in week 11. The Lions ultimately won that game 31-26, but the Bears were on top 26-14 entering the fourth quarter. That game was in Detroit. This game is going to be outdoors in the cold in Chicago. There's been talk of Goff not playing as well outdoors in the cold. So based on what happened last time, you also have the Bears coming off the bye here. And this is the second road game, I think, for the Lions. So I'm going to take the points. I hope the Lions win, but I am going to take the points with the Bears on this one.
I'm going to take the points here, too. Detroit's been pretty good against the spread this year. But like you said, they just won on the road, and Chicago's coming off a bye where they've had time to prepare. So Justin Fields is really, I look down the end of this season, Justin Fields is really kind of take off as he's going to have some pressure to prove that he belongs as the starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears in 2024. Last game, I believe it was Thanksgiving, right? Score was 31-26 in favor of Detroit. Chicago was
No.
No?
No, they won this game. The Lions won.
In
Against the
favor
Bears.
of Detroit.
But it wasn't Thanksgiving because the Lions lost on Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. All right. So, but it was a couple weeks ago. They had
Week
lost.
11.
Chicago was looking to win the game and lost at the end. I think Chicago has enough to take this one with Detroit actually winning last week on the road, coming back again on the road as a 3-point favorite. I look for the line on Sunday, probably be 3.5. You'll probably get that hook. That's a major green light if you get the hook against, with Chicago. Get the 3.5 points. I'm with you. They're 4-2, by the way, the Bears. 4-2 their last 6 against the spread. So the spread numbers are looking good for the Bears as well.
Okay. Got lots of stats over there this week. All right. Next game is the Texans.
Stat boy.
Texans at the Jets. Texans are 3.5-point favorites. So the quarterback carousel keeps turning in New York. Tim Boyle is out. Go figure. And Zach Wilson is back.
Zach attack.
I don't care. The line is still bad. They still can't score. Breece Hall is questionable. I like the Texans. I don't need an excuse to take them.
I just make it easy. I like the Texans too. I mean, I don't see how Zach Wilson can move the ball at all effectively all day against Houston's defense. So
it is not Zach Wilson's fault. All right. Next game.
He doesn't even want to play, and then they're covering for him.
The whole thing is just so freaking bizarre.
It's not bizarre. He literally was a little baby and said, I'm not going to play because he was sad that he got benched. And they're trying to back play. Aaron Rodgers trying to do a good thing because, that's murder for his career. If, other teams hear him say that he gave up on his team and didn't take an opportunity to start in the NFL, he'll never get another chance with another team. And he might already be in that position.
I couldn't even blame him because, they made him a scapegoat and then they replaced him and then they released the guy they replaced him with because he played so terrible and nobody wants to face the truth of the situation. It is bad offensive line. It's bad coaching and it's not Zach Wilson's fault.
Should have kept Mike White.
All right, next game, Seahawks at 49ers. Now, I have this game as 49ers favored by 10.5. I looked at this before we came up here, and it's up to 13.5. What is up with that?
Is it possible that their quarterback's not playing?
Is it Geno? I saw something about Geno being something with an elbow or something. I don't know. But 13. This is a division game. These teams played back in week 12. San Francisco won that matchup 31-13. San Francisco has won the last 4 games against the Seahawks. There was one game that was a 8-point game, and the rest they have won by more than 10 points. So I definitely think the 49ers win this game. I'm not saying I'm going to take it at 13.5. I probably would have taken it up to 10.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, they're basically saying that he's a game time decision. Has that changed? Was he not a game time decision?
Who, Geno?
Yeah. Was he a game time? Yeah, that's the news. He's a game time decision. People are betting San Fran, hoping that Geno's not playing. If Geno's playing, I'm all over the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, that the 49ers own this matchup, right?
Yeah, but it's a lot of points. It's a lot of points. Abraham Lucas is back. I mean, people are looking at the whole Dallas situation when they played Seattle. Seattle got Abraham Lucas back, who only played game 1. He's their best tackle and protected Geno. Geno was healthy. Basically, he the week prior to the San Fran game, he hurt his elbow, and then he came back 4 days rest, and he was pretty much 70-80% of himself. So, last week when they played against Dallas,
he was 100%. Now he's hurt again.
Yeah. So now it's his groin, right?
Oh,
so if it's not his elbow. If his groin's okay and he's going to play, then, I like Seattle. Just, I don't like him to win necessarily, but that's a lot of points.
Well, yeah, at 13.5
touchdowns, I'll take Seattle. People are overrating San Fran just because they, blew the Eagles out at the end of the game last week. Too many points.
I like your description of that game. They blew the Eagles out at the end of the game last week.
It was 7-6 with less than a minute left, or about a minute left in the second quarter.
Okay.
We're talking about Seattle San Fran. Who's your pick?
Oh, I love it.
San Fran?
San Fran, but I'm not going to take it at 13.5.
All right, who's next? Minnesota Raiders? I forgot we don't have a... Oh, I got lucky on that one, baby. Yeah.
All right. And both these teams are coming off the bye. Vikings are favored by 3. I don't really have anything on this game. I'm going to take the Vikings just because I like Josh Dobbs.
I don't like it much either. It's the same reason. I don't like the Raiders. Their quarterback stinks. They are playing at home, but I'll take Minnesota.
Okay. All right. Next game is the Broncos at the Chargers. Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. This is a division game. Over the course of the last 2 years, these teams have split, with each team winning at home. I'm just because it's a division game, I'm going to just take the points and take the Broncos. I figure it's going to be a close one, maybe a 1-point game.
I'm same there.
I don't think I've picked the Broncos all year.
I think it's a 3-point game, and Denver probably win the game. So right now, 2.5. Flash a 3 in one spot in Vegas. Hopefully it gets up to 3. I'll take the full field goal.
Okay. All right. And then this next game.
Ooh, big game. Big games coming
here. Bills at Chiefs. Chiefs are 1.5-point favorites. These teams have played 4 times over the last 2 seasons. Bills won both regular season games, with the Chiefs winning both playoff games. Are the Bills coming off the bye?
Yes.
Yes. And Chiefs coming off the loss to the Packers. Isaiah Pacheco, I have as questionable. Okay.
He's out.
Yeah.
He may be going on the IR.
Okay.
Which means he'll miss the next 4.
So obviously the Chiefs kind of lacking in the receiver room. Now they're losing Pacheco. Bills desperately need the win to have any shot of making the playoffs. I don't necessarily like the Chiefs are going to lose 2 in a row. I don't know, but I am going to just take the points and take the Bills.
First of all, for you fantasy football heads out there, go take a look and see if Clyde Edwards-Helaire is available in your league, because if Pacheco's out, you're going to want to pick him up.
What
if
about
you're looking for
McKinnon?
some cheap. Well, McKinnon will probably still be the 3rd down back, so I don't think that he'll take a lot of 1st, 2nd down reps. They may give him a couple series. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think, is the one you want to take a shot on, and is definitely the one that will be more available in your leagues. Anyway, I take the Buffalo Bills. I'm really looking for I like the. I'm not going to give up on the Bills. I still think they're going to make the playoffs. I think it starts here with the run. Before the bye, they had the Eagles, and they played well enough to win that game, and they just didn't get lucky enough. I like the change to Brady as the offensive coordinator. It's only going to. You can tell that the confidence level is higher in Josh Allen. So if they can win this game, they might be able to propel themselves into a position for a wild card for the playoffs. I like the Bills. Take the 1.5. I see.
Yeah.
You got the same.
All right, we're on the same side of that one. All right, next game is the Eagles at the Cowboys. Do you have any Halloween costumes under the desk this week?
No, I will not dress up as the Joker again. But they are Joker fans as well, the Cowboys.
Well, it was a close game in the second quarter.
It was 6-0 first quarter. Dominated. San Fran had -4 yards. Anyway, I digress. It was a bad loss.
It took them 1 series to figure it out.
It was a bad loss. Hopefully we don't make it 2 bad losses. I'm going to take the Eagles getting 3.5. I mean, you're going to get an extra hook in this game. I'll take it. The only thing that I don't have confidence in is that the referees will allow us to win this game. I remember the Eagles going down to Dallas, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, where the opening kickoff was fumbled by the Cowboys and recovered blatantly right into an Eagles' hands. And the referees did not call it a fumble. Philadelphia challenged the play. It was a blatant fumble. The referee agreed it was a fumble, but came back and said there was no obvious recovery. When the ball went to 2 Eagles, one guy grabbed it and then ran off the field with the ball. And I don't understand how you can call that. There's no proof of recovery. So when I saw that play, I knew that nothing would surprise me going forward with the ref's call in Dallas when the Eagles come to town. So that really concerns me, but hopefully we get a 3 and a hook, and no worse than a 3-point loss here. Hopefully the Eagles win.
Okay. So when the Eagles and the Cowboys played a few weeks ago, I mentioned that Dak has some like ridiculous numbers against the Eagles. The Eagles have not won in Dallas since 2017.
Dallas is 14-0 at home. The last 14.
And I feel like this is kind of a similar situation to last week. I don't like the hook. I don't know if I said it, but Cowboys are favored by 3.5. But this feels very
It's a bad spot.
It feels very similar to last week. It feels like Vegas wants me to take the Eagles, so I'm going to take the Cowboys.
I definitely could see that. I mean, you're coming off of another Dallas 11, another 11-day rest, similar to San Fran last week against the Eagles. So whenever you have one team coming off an 11-day rest and the other team coming off a shorter rest period, hard-fought battle against the San Francisco 49ers, it's a tough position for the Eagles to win. But the reason why I would take the Eagles here is because I don't believe Dallas is that good. If you look at who they're beating, I mean, they're whipping up on some bad teams at home.
Well, they were competitive when you guys played the last time.
They were competitive.
I mean, they could have won that game.
They were competitive, but the Eagles really should have won that game by 2 touchdowns.
One other thing to mention.
They let them come back. The Eagles shut it down in the fourth quarter, just trying to run the clock out.
One other thing to mention, Mike McCarthy apparently had a appendicitis. Is that what it was? So he just had I guess his appendix removed. I don't know, 2 days ago.
And
but
he's back.
He's going to be on the sideline for the game, but he is the one, I believe, that calls.
How many Cowboys would be sad if he sat this one out?
I believe he's the one that calls the plays, right?
I think so, yeah.
So, I don't know. That's just worth mentioning. All right, so we're on different sides of that one. And then this week, for some reason, unknown to anyone that I'm aware of, we have 2 Monday night games at the exact same time.
2 Monday night games. Wow.
Yeah.
What stupid reason is this?
I don't know. So the first is the Titans at the Dolphins. Dolphins are favored by 13.5.
That's a lot.
So this is tough because the Dolphins beat up on bad teams. Titans do qualify as a bad team based on their record.
Surprised you said that. And how much you love the Titans.
Titans, bad secondary, so it kind of sets up perfect for the Dolphins. But I can't. Mike Grable as a 13. Do you think? I don't even think they've ever been a 13.5 point dog in recent history. So I have to believe that they will at least be able to keep it close.
Tennessee,
yes.
is the same Titans that are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5.
Yeah, they have not won on the road.
The same Titans that are 0-5 in their last 5 road games against the spread.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Titans.
No, I will take Miami, who's 11-4 against the spread in the last 15. Hopefully, get it under 2 touchdowns.
Okay. And this is the Monday night game now. So keep that in mind. Just like I said last week with the Jags and the Bengals, who won that game, the Bengals. Shocker, right? So if everybody's on the Dolphins, then the Titans is not a bad place to be. And that sets up perfectly for the next game, which is the Packers at the Giants. Packers are 6.5 point favorites. We have Packers coming in after a couple big wins. The Giants coming off their bye, where I'm sure a lot of people have forgotten they even exist. So
DeVito.
I think everybody's going to be all over the Packers in this one, and I'm going with the Giants.
I'm going with the Giants too. I think Green Bay comes off that big win last week against the Chiefs. They go on the road. They're going to struggle here, especially with the Giants sitting there for basically 2 weeks to prepare for this team. I think Dabo is the returning coach of the year, so he should be smart enough to put a game plan if he has 2 weeks together that could, hope Jordan Love can be contained while they're playing in.
And I think they're going to be without
City.
Christian Watson.
And that's big. The Christian Watson's out because he had a big game last week against Kansas City and was really a difference maker. Yep.
Yeah. So, all right, same side of that one.
Excellent.
All right.
Excellent. Don't forget to like or subscribe, right?
Right. All right, so that'll do it for us for week 14. Peace out.
Beat this out as soon as you can. We're just kicking it.